Recently, I have put up a post in YouTube which was titled as Business HR is not HRD. What do I mean by that? Is this true? Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev keeps talking that human is not a resource. In fact, he goes to the extent of running a whole series of programs. He says the moment you say human is a resource becomes measurable, and beings are beyond measurement, and they're all possibilities. So when Sadhguru says human is not a resource, and I subscribe to it, a person who was instrumental in starting the first human resource development department in this part of the world in mid 70s now says human is not a resource. Doesn't it look funny? Therefore, is this truth or is this half truth? Is this untruth? We have many things in HR field which appear to be truths, but which are either half truths or maybe less truths or more truths. That is the degree. On a 5-point scale, full truth is 100%, more truth is 75, some truth is 50%, less truth is 25, not truth is 0. I think you can conceptualize that way. When someone says employees for high employee engagement scores are great contributors to the company, is this true or is it somewhat true or not at all true? I have seen in many companies people with high engagement scores get those scores because they enjoy every bit of what they're doing. Now, there are cases where people with high employee engagement scores become quite a bit distractors for the rest of the community. They do their work fast and fast get into groups, form unions, demand more salaries, demand a whole lot of things. Now, this is not to say that low engagement scores are better or high engagement scores are bad. I think it's commonsensical to say if you are more satisfied, you are more engaged. If you are more engaged, you contribute more. So this is maybe most truth, but not fully true, because there are always exceptions. Similarly, psychometric tests and right recruitment policies help in getting the rightly competent people. Is this true or not true? I'm sure most of you know the story. In 1990s, Massachusetts state wanted to formulate a policy of having people in social work with master's degree in social work, and along with the social work they should also go through a special aptitude test created by the state. And when they asked McClellan and team to look at this, they discovered that McClellan and others conducted a study of high performing social workers and compared them with low performing social workers. And they found that the new policy will lead to employment of only whites, and the blacks who have been doing successful job as social workers hardly had a sixth grade kind of qualification and were highly empathetic and had good administrative skills. While the new policy may promote people with a little bit more of administrative skills, it was doubtful whether they will be empathetic and whether they will stick around and so on. So there is enough evidence. In fact, long ago, McClellan wrote this beautiful article, Testing for Competence Rather Than Intelligence, which proved beyond doubt that intelligence tests, aptitude test scores may not always yield best match of the people that you require. So psychometric tests will lead to better performance. Is a truth or half truth or untruth? Very similarly, very recently, I think we started promoting this whole issue of chartered status for HR profession. Very fast, some of the people came up and said that it's not going to work. Is going to work or not work? We don't know. We have not yet seen. In fact, I have had many people when I started the National HRD Network in the year 1985 to come back and tell me that when are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? It's not going to work. Now, today you see NHRDN has become not only a great reality, it is present across the country with over 13,000 members and about 40 chapters and so on. So same way, if somebody says chartered status is not going to work, it's an attitude. It's probably an attitude and statements of this kind if a person keeps making on every issue, then at the end of it you conclude he is a pessimist. The same thing on the other hand, if somebody keeps saying, oh, that's wonderful, great, so keep make this happen, then I would call him an optimist. So which is true? Is going to work, not going to work? Only time will tell. Even when time tells, we are not going to agree that it has worked or not worked. Because there are many people who say even today National HRD network has not worked or the Academy of HRD has not worked. So it's a matter of attitude. So in HR we have truths, half truths, most truths, low truths or less truths, no truths, and we also have opinions, we have ideas, we have attitudes, we have hypotheses, we have assumptions, we have concepts, we have philosophy, we have a whole lot of things. So HR field is filled with assumptions, viewpoints, attitudes, truths, half truths, and so on. We want to make it a profession. You want to move in the direction of having more truths rather than half truths or untruths. So it is only a profession that can get you more and more into uh, a knowledge base which is based on truths. For management and for HR, it will always be difficult to have a science that is totally based on verifiable knowledge forever, because human beings change with context. For that matter, even in medical field, there is nothing which is definitive. People say that the norms we have on your blood sugar, your blood, BP, cholesterol, etc., are based on the views of pharmaceutical companies. This is one view. But at the same time, we all go to doctors, get our sugar tested, get our BP tested, get our cholesterol tested, and of course, you keep hearing different kinds of views at different points of time. At one time, I heard the view cholesterol beyond a point is bad, but today I hear the view there is a good cholesterol, there is a bad cholesterol, and so on. As science develops, knowledge goes up. There are different things that get postulated, tested, and are available for public consumption. That is how the knowledge grows. So there are always, at a given point of time, truth which is contextual. In HR and management field, all truths are contextual. Context changes, the truth changes. I think this is what is very important. While you may have a science which is somewhat definitive, you can never have HR as a science which is forever going to be definitive. This is because human beings are complex. Human beings are growing at much faster rate than how the technology is growing. You will be amazed to know that it is human beings who made AI and other kind of inventions. But those people who made these inventions, their mind is always growing faster than even the inventions themselves. Otherwise, we can't manage the world. So, friends, I think in HR profession, like any other profession, we quite often work on half truths, some truths, and we should strive to make this a profession of most truths, or which is based on true knowledge. Of course, as I mentioned, all knowledge is anytime contextual. So watch out next time when you listen to some speech which says that this is what is going to happen, this is the most important HR principle, this is how a reward system is going to work or not work. I think you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt and tell yourself this is probably half truth or most truth. So I come back to my original kind of a question. When I say business HR is not HRD, it is only a half truth. I think if you go deeper into my understanding, I strongly believe business settings offered phenomenal opportunity for human resource development to grow. It is in business settings human resource development has grown. But why do I say business HR is not HRD? This is because I think there is a large part of our HRD which I think we have neglected, and you cannot anymore see all HR only from the business angle. We have to change our perspective. It is for this I have said that. So when I made this, it is half truth. But if you go deeper, you will find there is some more truth in whatever I have said. All the best for listening to my views. Thank you.